All right, welcome back to day two of microeconomics. And we're going to be talking today a lot just about economics in general, right? Economics writ large. And we talked last time about the spectrum that countries were on, right? And how this spectrum ranged, you know, with some elements of a command economy and some elements of a market-oriented economy. And we talked about how, the United States falls, closer to the market-oriented. Places like, the People's Republic of China and Russia fall, closer to command. Places like North Korea are even closer, right? And then in the middle here, we've got, some Latin America and other types of European countries. So we talked about the traditional style, right, which is very rarely used. There's little to no economic progression or development in the traditional, which, can pretty much be substituted for the word agrarian, right? So it really has to do with whether you're focusing more on a command structure where the government owns the resources, dictates the modes of production, the methods of production, dictates the prices, the amount that people are making, so on and so forth, right? I think I need to just say this is North Korea because it kind of looks like UK, which it is definitely not. Compared to the market-oriented, right, where we let prices and entrepreneurs and the market system decide what's being produced, how much, and then how it's being produced, right? So all this to say that even in the most market-oriented, extreme kind of environment, right, which, it can be argued the United States is not the furthest to the right here in terms of market-oriented, and there are different indices that do exactly that to various degrees of success. But regardless, even if we are heavily to the right on the market-oriented command spectrum, we still have these things called regulations, or the rules of the game. You will also hear regulations or the rules of the game, you'll hear this talked about as institutions. So institutions or regulations, again, in this class, just like theories and models, we're going to use these interchangeably. But these are talking about the rules of the game. And why do we need rules of the game? Well, there's no such thing as an absolutely free market. Even the most staunch conservative on the right side of the U.S. political spectrum will agree that there's no such thing as a absolutely free market. There's always some regulation, some rules of the game in an economy. Economies that are primarily market-oriented do tend to have fewer regulations. Ideally, how many regulations do they have? Just enough to maintain an even playing field for all participants. When we have a heavily regulated economy, these tend to create underground markets. The other word we use for underground is black markets. These are markets where buyers and sellers make transactions without governmental approval. And there's two main reasons that they make transactions without government approval, right? The first of which is they're doing illegal stuff, right? You know, drugs, crime, other things like that, right? So, illegal activity. Now, depending on the country, illegal activity could just be, you know, peacefully protesting or writing something on social media, right? So, we got to realize the context of wherever we're discussing that potential illegal activity. And the second one is because they don't want to pay taxes, right? Save money by not paying taxes. Questions on the notion of regulations?